Hi, and welcome to this AI and C# video on the Agent Framework Toolkits, which is a set of NuGet packages that I have made that makes Agent Framework easier to work with. Today we're going to look at easier agents. So the packages are up on NuGet. They're free, MIT, and are just a wrapper on top of the Agent Framework. You can choose whatever provider you want, Anthropic, Google, xAI, OpenAI, and so on. Or you can go and get the source code if you wish to. But let's see it in action on why it's worth adding this NuGet package compared to just using Microsoft Agent Framework by itself. So I made a new one here called Easier Agents in our sample repo. And the first thing you will see is that you only need one NuGet packet, not two. So the Azure OpenAI will, behind the scenes, reference the Azure OpenAI NuGet package, so you don't need to reference it yourself. So with this one NuGet package, you get everything you need. And the best way to show what it helps with is to actually just show you what you would do before you had this package. So if you had a task of you needed to take some weather data from a tool and put it out as structured output, you needed to call middleware, and you should use ChatGPT 5 Mini with low reasoning effort. If you need to do that, we can see the tool is simple and the weather report is just a structured output object. But in order for us to do this, we would get some credentials. That's normal. We would need to new up the Azure OpenAI client. We would need to make our agents. And because we wanted low reasoning, we need to do this special thing about chat options inside the chat client agent options with the chat client completion options to set this one property. We would set the tools as normal, but also because we want the function calling middleware, which is the code down here, we would need to do an as builder, use function calling middleware and build it, and we would end up with an AI agent, which is very bad for us when we need to do structured output, because an AI agent can't do run async with structured output like a chat client agent can do. So we would need to end up making some JSON serialization options. We would need to, in our run async, put in yet another chat client agent options run here in order to set the chat options, in order to set the response format to our weather report, which when we then get back would need to deserialize with the serialization options again, and finally have our output. So in total, we would need 84 lines of code plus the tools and the objects. Let's see the exact same task in Agent Framework Toolkit. And here you have it. We do again get secrets, but instead of an Azure OpenAI client, we would make an Azure OpenAI agent factory where we'll just give our endpoint and our API key. Then we will use this agent to create an agent. We will take ChatGPT 5 Mini. We will just tell it slow. We will tell it the tools, and we will put in the middleware directly here as an action. Then we will get an Azure OpenAI agent, which is behind the scenes just a normal agent, so it's an inheritance. And that agent can do the wrong async, so you have the weather report directly out as a chat client agent response, despite we having the tool called middleware, and we would be done in 36 lines of code. So over half has many lines of code that are much easier to look at and with the same features and functions, just easier, as the title of this video said. So with that, see you in the next one.